Lily. I'm wearing a tie inspired by Victoria's introduction video. This is my tie. This week I will be talking about something I am glad I'm talking about for my first themed video, because it's something that I would always like to explain to people. Basically, I don't like to police what I say to avoid confusing people. I mean, I don't like to, but sometimes I have to anyway, because I can't explain this to everyone. So I hope a lot of people will see this. I can't explain to everyone who knows that I am asexual that I think some things are sexy. I think some people are sexy. I say some people are sexy. And sometimes I get questions like, wait, I thought you were asexual. This is confusing. So I am going to explain, I'm going to deconfuse you. Sure, plenty of people can recognize what's conventionally attractive and be like, oh, I guess people think that's sexy or something. That's not what I'm talking about. I guess where I find myself noticing it the most is in music. I like to listen to music that conveys feelings. We all like to listen to music that conveys a feeling or a concept or an emotion strongly. It can make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, or it can make you feel cold and empty inside. You might like to do that because of music sometimes. But if the feeling being expressed in the music is sexiness, is sexuality, then yeah, I can appreciate that. I can totally see how the music is sexy. Music that I consider to be sexy 99% of the time is also music that I would like to dance to, although not all music that I like to dance to is music that I consider sexy. I like a lot of electronic music, and synthesizers and sexiness have had a close relationship for a very long time, I think. It pretty much always has way more to do with the music, with the actual sound of it, than the lyrics. Actually, the way I interpret all music usually has a lot more to do with the way it sounds than the lyrics. Like the way I was talking about music with strong emotions or concepts earlier, the way I interpret all those things usually has more to do with the musical aspect as well. I can imagine, like, if I was of the sexual persuasion, like what music I would want to have sex with someone to, but then I imagine like either dancing to the sexy music or like doing it with someone to the sexy music, and I'm like, I'll just take the music. I have to wonder if calling this sexy, calling music that I enjoy in this way sexy is quite accurate. If, as I said, sex isn't really the standard, I wonder if that is still accurate, or if I'm just being verbally lazy. I do that a lot. And I can definitely appreciate it in a performance context, like in acting or what someone does on stage or something like that. I could probably even do things like that myself. I mean, I play music, I have performed before, I probably will perform again at some point in the future. I mean, I definitely will, and who knows what will happen with the kind of sexiness I'm describing, if any of that will find its way into me when sex isn't the subject matter or the inspiration and not the standard, as I said earlier. So that should be interesting. We'll find out. I don't think I've ever said it about anyone's like day-to-day behavior or mannerisms. I wonder if I did, if I would be sexually attracted to them or something. What makes this an admiration and an appreciation of sexiness in an artistic context and not sexual attraction is these things don't turn me on or make the people who created them seem sexually attractive to me. I wouldn't really consider someone sexy or think of them in that way in day-to-day life if the way that they behaved was similar. I might consider that person charming. Well, I know I would consider them charming because I think I've met someone like that before. I think I've met a couple of people like that before, and that is what happened. The thing is, when I start talking about it in a performance context, this is where the lines get really blurred, because there comes a point where I definitely know it isn't accurate to be calling somebody sexy, because it doesn't have anything to do with the way I was appreciating the expression of sexuality artistically. I find people attractive because of their mannerisms and their behavior a lot, very, very frequently. And I tend to use words like charming, that's a word that I really like a lot, in the place of sexy when I know it isn't appropriate. But sometimes calling someone sexy when I don't really mean it might slip in just because I'm verbally lazy. I do that with calling people hot too. I call people hot when I mean they're aesthetically attractive all the time, because sometimes any other option just sounds too clinical or too graceful or something, and I don't care. I just realized I was doing this with my hand out of the picture for like a minute. God. I wasn't like, oh my god, get in my pants. A few recommendations for some sexy listening. I don't care. I know what I mean. If you don't know what I mean, then